Live and in person here from Epping, New Hampshire, home of three of New Hampshire's governors, of which I can only name one, guy by the name of Prescott. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, you've been waiting for, often imitated, never equaled, politicking with Mr. B this evening. And we got an incredible show. We have a crossover, politicking with Mr. B, and a wonderful panel of people from the way we see it. Before we get any further, our engineer Blazeman, and reach out to you, please run up the colors. We got a show to do tonight. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And for all people, indeed, it is intended and said. And at the time, I'm going to reach out for one individual person who I've known and met a number of years ago, a gentleman who served for many people for many years, who is very ill and has made the decision to go home and be with his family, and that's where he will be, and he will become remembered. I want to reach out and say thank you very much for your friendship, for your dedication, and for all of the time and the wonderful things you've said, Jim, over the years. Jim Kutkowski, God bless you and Godspeed. And Lord, I pray that you are merciful. Thank you very much for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, we are having a interesting show this evening. We have panelists from the other show that we do the night before on Tuesdays called The Way We See It. Our engineer, the Blaze Man. We have Hayseed. We have Mr. Different Every Day. All is going to come on. We're going to be dedicating this entire show to the debacle which is unfolding before our eyes regarding Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden himself, born in February of 2000, in 1970, February the 4th, 1970, the second son of Joe and Nelia, his first wife, who unfortunately was killed when Hunter was 2 years old, killed in a terrible auto wreck that also killed his youngest sister and did indeed seriously injure Hunter and his brother, who later has gone on to blame his drug and alcohol addictions to the things that happened. Here's a wonderful picture, thank you, Blazeman, of young Hunter Biden. He again, as I said, would in later life be blaming his drug and alcohol addictions on the things that happened with the automobile accident. Fellow was educated at Yale University. After a first year at Cornell, for whatever reason, they moved him out of Cornell University over to Yale. 1996 was a Yale Law School grad, and from there he went into the MBNA company and started working as a consultant for them. And that was one thing, the first questionable thing, because while Hunter went on to work at the MBNA company back in '96, Daddy, Sleepy Joe Biden, was working on legislation that was going to help out the credit card industry in favor of the banks and the credit card banks. Unbelievable. There are other things that are going on. His brother Bo died in 2015 of brain cancer. It's a terrible thing. The one that had survived him with him in the car accident. So there have been some terrible tragedies. He himself discharged from the Naval Reserve just after he was commissioned because he failed a drug test. So this is something that's been going on for quite a long time. Biden himself founded the BHR Partners over in China in 2013. Went to work Burisma. We all heard that name. 2014 to 2019. October 2020 is what sparked the laptop gate when things really started blowing out. Ladies and gentlemen, This all having been said, let's bring in our panel members, ladies and gentlemen, the fellows from As We See It, Mr. Blazeman. We have Mr. whoever he is this evening. We
LeMay.
got Donald Hayes and Blazeman coming in. Here we are. Ladies and
Hey
gentlemen, here
everybody,
is
how
the
are
entire
ya?
group. I want to say thank you very much, gentlemen, for agreeing to do this show this evening. This having all been said, I can understand people having issues and problems and so forth, but uh, a motor vehicle accident that takes place and happens when you're 2 years old, it's usually tends to be something that you don't remember very much of when you're 2 years old. I don't know that many people remember things at the age of two, but uh, for whatever reason, he seems to be blaming what happened, his drug and alcohol addiction, on this. And I don't know, boys. What do you have to say about all of these things? Hello.
I don't know who's first.
Demas.
Your show, Mr. B.
Hey, Steve. Let's hear from you. What do you have to say about this?
Oh, I'm just glad it all got blown up out of control. I'm just
Beg
glad the
pardon?
judge said no more. Hell no. Because this dude was trying to get off on what could be future crimes. He wants, I mean, that's ballsy. That's like Dan Snyder ballsy. Because that's what Dan Snyder tried to do to the NFL about all the crap he did. So that tells me that there, he might be shitting his pants a little bit because they're about to find some stuff he didn't want to find out. And that's where it's just going to all break down for everybody.
Now you're talking. We'll step over here. You're talking about the fact that Hunter Biden wanted to, and his attorneys wanted to squeak in some sort of agreement that he not be charged for things that he may do in the future. Is that
Yes,
correct?
yes,
Oh,
that's what broke
yes,
down in court.
yes.
When the prosecutor said no, Biden's lawyer went absolutely berserk. They had it on ABC earlier tonight. He went berserk about it, and he was like, "Deals off." So the judge threw the shit out and said, "Y'all need to talk again. Come see me in 30 days."
Wow. Wow.
That dude wanted for future crimes. So somebody's on the right track to something. Just keep following it because you're getting somewhere
I
a
mean,
lot of people don't want you to be.
Blazeman, let's
how
hear
can
from
you?
you.
I mean, excuse me. How can you sit there and have your lawyers say, oh, no plea deal, and if I don't get immunity, just in case I do the same shit down the road. You know what I mean? Give me your immunity on that, and okay, we'll make the deal. Fucking bullshit, man. So this broad, she's not stupid. I mean, I'm sorry, the judge, uh, under the initial plea deal, Biden was expected to plead guilty to two misdemeanors for failing to pay his federal taxes on time in 2017 and 2018 while avoiding being prosecuted for a felony gun charge, illegally possessing a firearm as a drug user. I mean,
Yes, yes, they wanted to
Yeah,
wrap all that up together. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Demon.
right,
no, no.
but the average Joe isn't getting that. You, me, Mr. B, whatever, either we're taking a plea deal. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Or there probably would never be a plea deal. We'd have to fucking serve some time, pay a fine. We're the average person.
Gentlemen, I've gone to court for something. I never said to the judge, guess what? Fine. I'll say I'm guilty of this as long as you give me a free pass for anything I might do from here until the end of time. My ass. Bullshit. This doesn't happen. Where the hell did I come
Well,
up with this crazy shit?
let's not forget the bright judge that asked the first question to the prosecution and the defense team,
Please, go
and
ahead.
she asked, "Is the defendant? Is there a possibility the defender is still under investigation?" And they both answered one of them, and I think that's where she froze the train on the anonymity going forward and stuff, because
Yes,
Biden, Hunter is still under investigation for other shit, man.
Right. That is 100% correct, Demas. They
Okay.
asked. She asked the prosecutor, "Is he still under investigation?" By the Department of Justice, they said yes.
Gentlemen, we want to hang on for a moment. I believe we've got some video to show. Blazeman, do you have a video feed?
Well, while Blazeman is getting the video up, I'd just like to make this announcement: the U.S. women's soccer team. I didn't say United States. I just said U.S. They play tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern and 7 p.m. Mountain. Go ahead,
I'm sorry. I have to clean my toenail clippers.
I just want to see the national anthem.
And take more questions from the media. Okay, so that briefing is ongoing. She's likely to get pressed further and take more questions from the media on what is happening there at that federal courthouse. And we'll certainly get back to the briefing room as that happens. But first, let's bring in Karl Rove, former White House Deputy Chief of Staff and a Fox News contributor. Karl, great to have you here. As we've had a lot of legal analysis in the first half hour here, political implications are huge as well. And Doug Schoen, a Democrat, was on this network earlier. And he said this while all this was unfolding in real time. Listen.
The facts as they're coming out are not helpful to the White House. Indeed, what is coming out is clearly potentially, and I underscore that, very harmful. This is a big day potentially for Gavin Newsom.
I want to get your reaction to that, Karl.
I think Doug's absolutely right. This is the absolute worst outcome for the Biden White House. The plea deal, which they've been sort of suggesting that this was going to bring it all to conclusion, is blown up. It's going to make more people look at it and say that was a special deal cut for the son of the president of the United States, and particularly the overreach of his attorneys asking for broad immunity on future potential charges is going to be a sticking point as well. Nothing. I can't imagine a scenario that is worse for President Biden than what happened today in Wilmington.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to keep this alive for a long time to come. There were obviously, if Hunter Biden had have signed what many people described as this sweetheart plea deal, there would have been a lot of people who are upset by it, thought that it was unfair, but eventually that probably would have, to a large degree, blown over. But now, rather than blowing over, this thing has blown up. And how much of this do you believe sticks to the president?
Well, I think a lot of it does, because I've long felt that it was impossible to believe that he was not aware that his son was on the board of Burisma. After all, at the moment that his son is appointed to the Burisma board, Joe Biden is in charge of the Obama White House effort to encourage the Ukrainians to clamp down on corruption. And one of the most corrupt companies in Ukraine was Burisma. And Devin Archer goes on the board in January of 2014, longtime friend and political associate, political bagman for the then sitting Secretary of State, John Kerry. He brings his business partner and the son of the Vice President of the United States, Hunter Biden, on the board in March. And you can't tell me that Joe Biden was not aware of that, or that somebody inside the Obama White House didn't talk with him and say, this is a problem. Remember, when he goes over to Ukraine the following year, he is criticized by Ukrainian non-governmental organization NGOs involved in the fight against corruption, and it makes the front page of the New York Times. So the idea that somehow or another he's completely ignorant of what his son is doing in this instance is ridiculous. And if he knew in that instance and isn't telling us the truth about it, was he aware in other instances, and hasn't he told the truth about us in those instances? So this is just going to be a can of worms for the White House. And think about it. Their press spokesman, and I understand she has a legal obligation not to get involved in partisan politics, but she goes out and says, if you want answers on this, go to the Department of Justice, which is going to say nothing, or go to Hunter Biden's attorneys, which are just simply going to keep the story going. There's no impartial arbiter of this except the good judgment of the American people, and that ain't going to be a good judge for the Biden family.
Just a quick peek inside that briefing room right now, Karl, as we are waiting for the question and answer portion with the press secretary to begin. This is John Kirby, obviously the White House national security spokesman. He has not gotten a single question on this. Okay. It'll be very interesting to see what happens when KJP gets back to the microphone, if she will be given a question on this, because she entered the room and her opening statement was she won't be answering any questions on the president's son. It is news that they're not asking him about this.
Well, he's the national security guy, and so I think it's less likely. But yeah, let's see if the White.
Mr. B, did you have something to
Yeah,
add?
I'm glad. Thank you very much. I'm about to ask you to hold that video for a minute. Let's step back here before all of the happenings in this video. What about the story going on about Hunter Biden, one of the attorneys, Hunter Biden's defense attorney league, contacted the court claiming that they were a GOP person, asking them to rescind something out of the court's documents from the IRS whistleblower. Did anybody hear about that, Jim?
Yes, I did, and I'm having a hard time swallowing it. All I heard it come out of was Fox News, Jesse Waters. I'm looking for other media to back that up, and I haven't found it yet. But I'm not saying it's true. I mean, it's saying it's false. You know what I mean, Mr. B?
I understand. I understand that. Because I had Fox on and I mean all morning long. They spent the entire morning on this. Would Fox News have spent an entire morning talking about this particular aspect if it was questionable?
Well,
if I can add on this, even your major news networks broke, and local TV broke for breaking news, man, and it just don't look good for the home team, and that home team is the Biden criminal network.
Exactly. Look, I got a quick question here. I mean, Hunter Biden is a private fucking citizen, right? He's a citizen, right?
Yeah, but I know where you're getting at. You're going to the Secret Service protection?
Fucking A.
I know you are.
What the fuck is that all about?
Like
he should either have his own driver or the fucker should be pulling up in a fucking cab.
That Secret Service protection is given to the family members of the POTUS at the POTUS's direction, man. It's been going on since a long time before we came. It's going to continue to move on. Don't cry about it. Don't complain about it. Because that's all they got to do is say, well, that's the president's son, and he wants some service on him. End of story.
I get that, Donnie. And thanks for the explanation, but it's still fucking bullshit. You know what I mean? Regardless.
No, it's not bullshit.
You know?
No, it's not bullshit. It's not bullshit. He's going to get that treatment. The way he's coming in and out of court at his leisure with no handcuffs on is more what I got a problem with. Why ain't this thing stuffed up?
Good. I'm glad you got a problem with fucking something. Jesus.
I mean, he's under.
Fuck.
What's the matter, buddy?
I'm sorry, Donnie. He got you, bro.
You just get mad because I debunked all your shit yesterday? No, let's get on the topic.
Gentlemen, let me ask you this.
This is crazy, this.
Let me ask you this.
Let him finish, Mr. B.
How many of you believe that Hunter Biden should not be traipsing around wherever and should be strapped with an ankle monitor and have no passport?
Me. Hell yeah. This dude, this is where I have a problem. Why is this dude? No ankle bracelet. He's walking around. He's on the cell phone, doing whatever the hell he wants, like he's a free man. No, you were ready to plead guilty to those misdemeanors already. So you openly admitted that you messed up and committed a crime, or you made it sound not a felony, maybe a misdemeanor, but you did something wrong against the law. I just don't understand how much longer that they need to go through and what else other evidence they need to go through. And that's really what I want to know is when these agreements come into play in another 30 days, what all does that entail? Because I want that to be very detailed. So that way, all this other peddling shit that you really don't have enough evidence on, you can use it later. Because if you find him guilty now of what you can prove, you let the rest ride. Don't risk
Mr. LeMay, house arrest or not?
Oh, hell yeah, house arrest.
No, it's not going to happen. Where are you going to house arrest him to? The White House?
No,
in Delaware.
Should it happen?
All right, let's finish this video up.
Go ahead.
White House press corps, I'm sure they've got clever ways to get back into the issue by not asking about Hunter Biden, but asking about Joe Biden's thoughts about this. I mean, simply saying, did the president really not know that his son went on the board of Burisma? That'd be an interesting question. And that would be one that she would find it very difficult not to give an answer. And if the answer is no, we didn't know, then there are lots of good follow-up questions. Well, when did he become aware that he was on the Burisma board? And did it cause him any indigestion when he went to Ukraine and was publicly criticized for having a member of his family involved in the very corruption that he was encouraged to go to Ukraine and denounce and fight?
You know, Carl, let me come back to the statement that Hunter Biden's attorney, Chris Clark, made back on the June when this plea deal was first announced. Because there's the legal side of this, then there's the political side of this, and then there's a point where they all seem to blend together. He said, quote, with the announcement of 2 agreements between my client, Hunter Biden, and the United States Attorney's Office for the District of Delaware, it is my understanding that the 5-year investigation into Hunter is resolved. I mean, on the surface, that looks like political spin. It may look like he's trying to put pressure on the U.S. attorney to not undertake this investigation anymore, maybe sending a signal to the Department of Justice. But in court today, we learned that that was much more than a political statement, that they believed that there was going to be broad-based immunity given to Hunter Biden if he pleaded guilty to these 2 misdemeanors. What do you make of that aspect of it?
Well, it's mind-boggling. Look, you give immunity in return generally for assistance. So that a grant of immunity would normally be tied to cooperation and going after a bigger fish, so to speak. And instead, it looked like, that was a get-out-of-jail-free card for anything that he might have done or might do for some period of time. I thought it was extraordinary when Hunter Biden's attorney said that, and I'm not surprised that the judge had a problem with it. Think about that. Give me a free pass on anything that you may not have been able to pin on me so far, but that you may find out about me in the months ahead.
Anybody?
What do you think, boys? I mean, you're hearing what they're talking about. I mean, how much more of this dodging and cutting and so forth, and do you think we're going to see before this actually truly comes to a head?
Donnie?
I don't know how much more cutting and dicing and dodging and all this other shit you could do. I mean, at some point, very soon, I think Joe is going to have to tell Hunter, look here, get your ass to the house in Delaware and stay there. This is too much. I'm not gonna chouse you around and bring you around on the campaign trail and answer this shit and try to win a re-election. It just won't work. I don't think that can happen much more about maybe a month. I don't know.
Donnie, if I can add something, and Mr. B, I really, I'm looking at Mr. Hunter and thinking, that Hunter might hurt himself, man. He's got all the excuses to hurt himself. You talk about the accident, the drugs, him having a relationship.
Oh, come on.
No, hear me out. Hear me out, bro.
Go ahead.
No, hear me out. I really believe the guy's going to try to knock himself out, man.
Good.
I'm telling you.
It's not going to be a sincere one. He'll do it just to try and garner some sort of sympathy or whatever. But it won't be the real deal.
Exactly. And what does America like? A nice little pity party.
Absolutely.
Oh man, no.
By the way, gentlemen, I know we're talking about
Donnie. Now you can dive in. Go.
Well, go, Mr. B.
I know we're talking about Hunter Biden here, but I do want to take and broach a little subject here. We were talking before last night about what happened over there on the may have happened on the Obama property over down on the island down there. Just out of curiosity, do you guys happen to know who else had a executive chef that drowned?
Okay, wait. So we're jumping off.
No. Just a quick.
Yes.
No, because that will lead into a whole 10
No,
minutes of
that's
shit right
Okay,
there.
no.
Whatever.
We can.
Let's go.
Go ahead, Mr. B. I think it was the
Go, man.
Clintons.
Bingo, 2015.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Whoa. What was that one I sent y'all earlier in the group checks or something? Was that the same one?
not
About
sure.
oh man, yeah, I heard something about one of them.
Yeah, but
No.
you know what's a real sticking point on the evidence that was recovered at the scene is that the gentleman, God rest his soul, man. I hope he didn't get axed. But the ankle bracelet to the paddleboard was not connected to his foot. And that's usually a first thing you do before you get on a surfboard or a paddleboard.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, you see you ain't got to go to school. You see the rope dangling there, like, what does this go around my neck? No, it's too small. It goes around my foot. Why? Because if I fall off, I don't have to go chase the whole ocean to get the board. So I'm a little confused here now, because now this points to some funny shit happened.
Okay. We can continue that at the latter part of the rest of this program. We're going to take a break in a little bit, and when we come back, we can hopefully we have a video. Corinne Jean Pierre is doing anything and everything she can to also dodge and cut and zip and zap and whatever else away from the Hunter Biden thing and distance the White House with her. I believe we have a video about that, or we will have a video about that. In the meantime, we're going to take a short break, about 3 minutes, and we will be back here, Poli-Ticking with Mr. B. Gentlemen, we'll see you in 3.
All right. We'll be back.
All right.
In the distance, light years from tomorrow, far beyond yesterday. She is watching, heart aching with sorrow. She is broken as she waits, hoping when all is said and done, we learn to love and be as one. Oh, starlight, don't you cry, we're gonna make it right before tomorrow. Oh, starlight, don't you cry, we're gonna find a place where we belong, where we belong. And so you know, you'll never shine alone. There are shadows deep in the horizon that leave us scared and so afraid. As the fallout of a world divided, it brings her tears and so much pain. So we take cover from the dark, hoping to find where we can start. Oh, starlight, don't you cry, we're gonna make it right before tomorrow. Oh, starlight, don't you cry, we're
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching Poli-Ticking with Mr. B and a special evening with our group from The Way We See It. We're discussing pretty much exclusively the Hunter Biden situation, how it's all been exploding the entire day as things have gone on and things are just unraveling and so forth. And I can just imagine what is happening inside the heads of the people that are in the White House, ladies and gentlemen. We have our guests coming in this evening, the people from the Way We See It program we have on Tuesday nights. Ladies, man, we got Hayseed and Mr. Whomever is with us this evening. And by the way, while we have that, I'm going to ask you tonight. We have a Mr. LeMay. Would you like to fill us in on the information with that, sir?
I would love to. Mr. LeMay, I met in Bosnia in 1992. He was an FDC chief, Fire Direction Control Chief, one of the best in the battalion. Real good guy, originally from Massachusetts, a big Patriots fan. Real quick story. After the COB of the day, we all go in somebody's room and go drink a beer or two and call it a day. But our first sergeant would walk in and he would tell us war stories of him being an NCO, a non-commissioned officer in his younger days, about rapping privates and all that stuff. And not even a couple of days later, Mr. LeMay grabbed one of the privates and shook him up. And Mr. LeMay was really scared about his career that day, but it was all good and fun. Mr. LeMay is a great American. Thank you, Mr. B.
Thank you very much for that information and for choosing to honor people as such. Now, Mr. Blazeman, our engineer, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Give him a round of applause. Thanks for all your work. I believe you have another video for us to watch. Thank you.
Months ago, you said that nothing has changed when you were asked about the president's previous remarks on his son's business dealings, but the language has in fact changed. So I just want to clear this up once and for all. The president has previously said that he has never discussed overseas business dealings with his son, but the White House now says that the president has never been in business with his son. So why the updated language? Which statement is true? Or is this semantics and they're both true?
As I stated on Monday, when I was asked this question multiple times, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed on this. Nothing has changed on this. And so could ask me a million different ways on this question. Nothing has changed.
But there you have it.
Nothing has changed. However, when you sit there and ask a question and they say, oh, well, no, Hunter Biden is a private citizen and he has nothing to do with this and blah, blah, and yada, yada, and flippity, floppity, floop. And in the meantime, anytime you point to somebody from the Biden administration, from the White House, and you ask a question, it's the same thing, and they're all cutting and dodging and looking for cover, trying to distance themselves. In the meantime, we still have pictures of him getting off the airplane with Joe, walking around with Joe, being around with Joe. Look, how many different sides does this coin have?
About 8.
Well, first, I just want to comment on Mrs. Pierre there in the press video. She's like, you could just see it in her face, like, this is not worth $180,000 anymore. MSNBC, here I come. I mean, yeah. She's flustered, and Kirby, John Kirby, the Rear Admiral, he's retired. He used to be the press secretary for the Pentagon and stuff. Now you see him a lot in the White House briefings, and he's just the savior to the Biden. But this is getting real ugly. And Donnie, what you got to say?
I think she is at a point in her mind that, you're saying like the body language, that told me she's at a point in her mind. She's like, I'm about done answering about this. And I'm just going to start telling people I have no comment when it comes to Hunter Biden. And I would say, yes, that she's about ready to go. But what I don't understand is, how is this dude not in rehab? And
yes,
why weren't you trying to paint a better picture of Hunter before or when this first started? Because you should have sent him to rehab. There should be something going on, because if you don't
needs
show
help.
anything, any kind of, what we talked about earlier, rehab. Where I'm fixing the problem, this ain't gonna work out for the Bidens. They're not gonna be in the office, and it's
When
gonna be
it
very hard
it
for.
just boils down to he's a fucking human being. You know what I mean? So again, anybody else that would have been in this situation in that courtroom with that judge or whatever the situation may be, okay, you would be probably sent to rehab for that 30 days while, the prosecutors and your defense team figure out and how, Hunter can get help, or release or whatever. I'm going to
He
give you
Yeah,
doesn't want
another
the
30
help.
days. Listen, I'm
He
just
doesn't
saying,
want the help.
what the friggin' shitball is it with this 30 days bullshit? Because they took off for a couple hours and they couldn't get something else done. So the judge is like, 30 days. Hey, you
hey,
guys,
Blaze,
you better get this shit done within 30 days.
Blaze.
No, I don't think
That's
that's.
probably because I don't know what's on that lady's docket, so I'm not gonna even try to answer that. She might have a lot of other cases going on, so who knows?
Hey,
That's why it might be 30 days, but there's got to be dialogue. There's got to be paperwork filed. They got to go back and forth.
But
And
Mr.
anytime
B,
you're dealing with something going on in the courts, they have to do things that are reasonable. There's such thing as reasonable time, and these things are defined in books, and they have things written down. Reasonable interest, reasonable whatever, and
hey,
30 days is usually something when you go to court. Let's say you go and you argue a motion. You say, okay, fine, we'll be back, and we'll see this again for a trial conference or whatever else in 30 days. They usually schedule things a month apart or 30 days apart. It's a customary thing.
Yeah, it's easy.
hey, so what's got me real baffled right now, and I'm not concerned so much about the 30 days because they're just going to try to revamp the plea deal and stuff. But let's not forget, Hunter was going to go in there to plead guilty to the 3 charges and get his hand slapped and go back in his convoy. But Hunter today pleaded not guilty. Now,
Right.
in any other course that doesn't have a plea bargain, you go to trial. And then you get the choice of having a jury or just the judge. So
Okay.
I really believe this judge is going to bring this Hunter Biden stuff to trial.
Okay.
To trial.
So we got to wait 30 days for that, though. I mean, if they wanted to go to trial, they could have said it today.
Yes.
And she could have set the date for trial today, not for another 30 days. Okay,
But
so 30 days is going to go by, right? And I know you're going to agree with me. 30 days is going to go by, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Trial.
no, but hear me out.
Yeah.
There was 3 charges, and all the news medias have been reporting he only went 2
Again, for the
not
tax one.
guilties.
For
2
the tax
not guilties. He did not profess was he guilty or not guilty on the other charge.
Yeah.
So that's what makes me think, if they can't do a nice plea deal where everybody gets their justice, then I think that it goes to trial if he doesn't wax himself off. I'm telling you, I would watch out for.
You think he's a pansy like that, where he'll do himself in?
Yeah, he's kind of a disgrace to the family, man.
Yeah.
And then
Donnie, I got to hear what Donnie's going to say.
yeah.
Remus wasn't done. Go ahead.
No, I'm
Yeah,
done.
he was.
Man.
He's good.
No, I'm not going to go into that. Oh, if he offs himself stuff, because that's not karma I want to wish on anyone.
No,
No, we're
I'm
not going to
just
talk that. But
We're not
no,
wishing
I'm
it
not
on
talking
nobody.
that. What
Yeah,
I'm
we're
talking,
not-
he needs to be
We're not
watched.
wishing it on nobody.
He needs
Right.
to be watched, man. He needs to be watched.
I'll give you that. He needs to be watched, but he can get watched from that home in Delaware, and he can have an ankle bracelet. He can get his passport. It can be, no, you're not going anywhere.
Right in front
And
of her.
that's
Get
where
it.
the hell his ass needs to stay. So
It's right in front of.
somebody can actually
That's
say,
not
"Hey,
professional.
we're trying to do something for him." You know what I mean? And
I
don't
think
they're going to come to an agreement. But I really think they're going to come to an agreement because they don't want this to go to trial. Because you put it to trial, then you can put all that shit out there in public. Freedom of Information Act request at a lower level that's much easier to get to. I just think it goes too public if it goes to court. So they'll figure
Here's
out.
why it's not going to go to trial. It's not going to go to trial because you and I all know steamrolling down us now is the recession. They are not going to put him on trial when the recession comes and all these people going out of work, they're losing their houses, they're losing their cars, they're getting foreclosed on, they're overdoing their bills and everything else, and everybody's blaming Joe Biden because all of this crap has all come to pass, and they're not going to get a fair jury. They're not going to let this go to trial.
I don't know.
Well, thank God we got judges still in the government system.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because the American public was ready, like, yep, found guilty on all 3 charges, blah blah blah, and he's home. Donnie, I just don't buy that idea to him going back to Delaware, man. And I'm going to tell you why.
Hey,
I'm going to tell you why.
You better do something. Okay, tell me why.
Yes. Drugs. He's going to get his hands on drugs. Shit, he gets it in the White House.
Yeah.
You know, that's another reason why. I thank you, Demas. That's one reason why I was in his ass back, because I tell you, Hunter, you know what? I just can't trust you anymore. I don't know if you're sniffing some coke or you're sniffing some coke behind my back. So hey, I got to get you off the camera, motherfucker. I can't handle it.
He was smoking out of a bong like down the street from the courthouse.
Okay, but that's in California with his lawyer, where it's perfectly legal.
Yep.
You can't do that shit.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Go ahead.
I'm going to ask this. This thing goes to an agreed plea agreement. What do you think the terms are, Mr. LeMay?
The fine, of course, he will, and I think he's in the process of paying back his taxes, and some type of probation. That is it.
Blazeman.
What's going to happen to him?
Yeah. What do you think the plea agreement that they're finally
go
lined
to
up
trial.
with? What's that?
He's going to want to go to trial and hope that he gets that sympathetic jury, like you said, Mr. B. He's going to go to trial.
No firing squad.
He should be locked up. He should be locked up for the 30 days right now until that hearing comes again.
I really think he's going to go through probation, lots of fines, and he's going to be a court-mandated drug and alcohol rehabilitation program he must graduate from. Or if he doesn't graduate from it or, finish it, whatever, he'll go to some minimum security prison for maybe 6 months top, 90 days.
I was thinking like 6 months, Donnie. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
He won't sit behind bars very long. It'd be some of them resort style minimum security type place,
Okay, boom, Jack in the Box moment here. Now suddenly something erupts out of this Biden's computer thing. Something comes out of that. They find something incredibly egregious out of that, and that winds up somehow linking into this. Or
well, that has to do part of it because he has that ongoing investigation with the DOJ. So that's part of why they got the 30 days and all of that shit too. So
yeah, I really hope they work that out. And yes, I hope they figure out, all right, we're just charging you for your tax crimes and your little thing where you lied on the form and said you weren't a drug user. So you go do your gun program, you pay your fine, and you get probation for the tax crimes, right? Court mandated maybe rehabilitation thing. He does his rehabilitation some cushy place where he just sits there and they go like California sober. They just smoke dope. They don't do the hard stuff. Hey, you're clean. Have a good day. I mean, that's going to be bullshit, let alone. But I just don't see this dude going to jail. It's not
I
going to
don't either,
happen.
Donnie. I don't either.
And honestly, if he was to go to jail, what satisfaction do we get? All the deals are done and the money's made, and the Bidens are making millions, and what he's just going to write a book about it, and he's going to do the sob story. So then there'll be maybe some Lifetime movie about it, and they'll make money that way too. Shit.
In a third surprise, Norika called the deal unusual. That's the judge, and told both sides she was not ready to accept the bargain, leaving it on hold. The lengthy 3-hour hearing ended with Biden pleading not guilty for the time being, although he could change that plea should the agreement be redone. Okay. Now, however, let's see. The federal investigation is to be over. Agreement, however, makes clear that the probe is still ongoing. Okay, and that's it, man. It's fucking. This is a joke. This a fucking joke.
Hey,
Joke.
I don't think
Mr.
it's a
B,
joke.
I'm sorry.
Well, I think it's a joke as far as the fucking legal system goes, Donnie. Okay, the three of us sitting here and the viewers that we have watching know damn well that anybody else would have been in cuffs, not walking out of that
Is
building.
this a stake in the vampire's heart?
No,
Um,
no.
I don't think it goes to the heart, but I think you hit a artery or
A
a good vein. I think
A
you hit an
wound.
artery.
That's why Mr. D wants him watched. Mr.
LeMay.
LeMay.
No, and then also let's not forget his paintings. And I know where they're going to chalk that up. That's rehab for him.
Well, so what? Let him go do some in
I'm
rehab building.
I'm just telling you what the left is going to reply with.
Say that again. Say that again.
His paintings, the paintings he does, that's probably a part of his rehab process to get away from drugs.
When he goes to rehab, let him paint. Here you go.
Okay, paint away, man. Go for it, bro.
I'll go with
Who
a
cares
Do you want a
about?
water-based
I'll go
or
to
do you want
Dollar
an
General.
oil-based paint? Which kind you want?
No, fuck
Yeah,
that.
you know,
Dollar General fucking watercolor paint. That's
you guys were all talking about you're watching Fox News, the right wings, and I even texted you guys. I'm like, I'm gonna watch CNN, and CNN, ABC, and NBC. They were all shocked of this coming, and I just hope and I pray when the media says we can't take care of you no more, Joe. We just can't, and turn on them. Because if they're going to keep on defending this guy, that's levels of treason, man. Supporting and aiding and abetting the enemy.
But he's not an
you are
enemy.
supporting the Bidens by hiding all this shit by real journalistic standards now. The Walter Cronkites, the Peter Jennings of America, the way they used to report it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those standards are long
Donnie?
gone, man. Those standards are long gone. You're not getting those again, man. Don't
and
do
I
that.
know when you're gonna whip out the dollar. Everybody wants to make a dollar, but where comes the sanity of this country, man?
Do you really
moral,
think?
The cancer-causing agents, and I haven't identified one in this show. The other show I identified a couple, but it's got to stop.
Okay, Demas.
No, Donnie, don't tell me about money. Everybody makes money, man.
No, man. What you want is what we said the other day. You want morals and ethics and values that maybe you grew up on or we were taught during the military and some other stuff. You're wanting that kind of environment, and you're not going to get that again, brother.
No, and I understand.
I
like to dream, man. But seriously though, I don't want the morals of of way I was brought up. Let's just go on an even keel here, just even. Okay, B. I'm sorry.
We've got about 8 minutes left, boys. In this 8 minutes time, let's delve into, if we can, that other issue we were talking about earlier about the stuff going on with the Barack the Wonder Schmuck and the
chef,
dead chef.
Oh, we can
come
get
on.
to that.
No, hey,
Uh,
look, I
I'm
wanted
sure,
to
I'm sure
comment
the
on that.
producer would allot us a little bit more time. But go ahead, Donnie.
Oh
Hey,
man.
that's all too common for that same position. I mean, coincidence, my ass. Oh no, that's too many things in common. Now I'll give way to you guys' bullshit conspiracy shit from last night. I'll give you credit for that, maybe a
You,
little bit.
you
The
buying?
man who knew too much?
Huh?
Was he the man who knew too much?
I don't know about that, but you just can't tell me that, these avid hiker like that other chef, he's an avid hiker or something like that. And he's gonna drown in not a forest, or what was he in the valley, or I can't remember exactly where, but wherever he's at, he's gonna drown. He's hiking. So if he's that avid of a hiker, he knows, and he probably checks in with people, or people check in with him. There's these things like, hey man, I'm gonna go up here and it's rough. If I don't make it back in 6 hours, come looking for my ass, right?
It's called a captain's log. Every person that goes in the water, you tell, yeah, Donnie, you hit it. You hit it.
No, not. And the same thing with this chef. He was an avid, paddleboarder. He was out there all the time. Well, if he's out there all the time, then he would have known to put the little ankle bracelet thing on. You know what I mean? That would have been the first thing he did. So there's too many of those just common things that these avid or these guys that do it all the time. Too many of those little common things are missing.
What you saying, Donald? It might be a little bit.
I'm gonna give you a little credit.
Huh?
Yes, I'll give you a base point.
I'll
give
take
you
a
one
little
base
bit.
point.
I'll take
I'll give you a little bit.
I'll take a little bit.
What kind of point?
Hey, my brother, just put it in here. I'll take a little bit. Hey, listen. Check this out. Mitch McConnell, right? Did everybody watch him freeze today, man? I thought he had.
I believe he had a transient ischemic accident, which is what's called a TIA, a small stroke.
Yeah.
I truly believe that's what happened.
Yeah,
I was trying to Google that. I wanted to know what would make somebody just freeze like that. That was wicked. And the fact that what really kind of pissed me off more than anything was I watched the video of it and I timed it. They let that man sit there for 30 seconds looking like, just frozen. Oh, hell no. Come on. That's supposed to be your peer or whatever, man.
Here's a little something else.
And then he came back and he said they let him go back for a few minutes. He came back. Reporter asked him. He says, "Oh, I was feeling a little bit fucking dizzy."
Yeah.
Really?
There's a report apparently that he had a while ago, a thing where he inexplicably fell.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. He's fallen down quite a few times.
And now this, something
He's
tells me that
down
there
quite
is
a few times. He broke his arm
there's
once.
a lesion on the brain somewhere.
Well, I don't know, man. Mr. B. I'm not a fucking doctor. A lesion on the brain. I don't know.
Yeah, but
all I know is he shouldn't have been brought back to that podium for the second time.
No, he should have been brought to the hospital immediately.
Exactly.
He should have been.
Escort that. I hope he's in the hospital now as we speak, getting looked at. Because that was kind of scary for him too.
Without a doubt.
Just watching, I was like, wow.
I'd like to catch one more. Okay, number one. Hey, everybody, remember Kevin Spacey?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The actor that diddled the boy. Yeah, not guilty.
Yeah. And then he said it was not a problem because he's gay.
Not guilty.
Remember that?
Today. I'm just telling you, he was not guilty.
He's not guilty today.
Nope, not guilty today.
From a court in London.
Yeah. Court in London, not guilty. All right, boys, we have UFOs. It's fucking official, man. It's official.
Not only UFOs, they also have.
And we got this dude.
Whoa!
And we got this dude. We got this airman that also did other things, for the Navy and stuff. And he's right there in front of the house saying that, yep, we captured UFOs.
Okay, you gotta send this in the little group chat or something, Blaze, because.
So the best way to figure this out, Blaze, you got tonight's shift. Stay up all night with your binoculars and tell me if you see any UFOs. We'll start reporting now. Oh, you don't want to stay
why
up
would I
all
do
night.
that?
Oh,
Why
you don't
would I
want to
want
stay
to
up
fucking
with some
stay up all
binoculars.
night?
Because we got to bring this to rest. We got to know if there's UFOs, man.
Well,
And the only way
it's
to
at
see
the,
it is through your own eyes.
it's being talked about in front of the House committee.
You believe that?
Yeah.
I know. We're gonna sit there with a fucking bunch of people to lie.
It's
You know what I mean?
almost
Spend tons of
August.
fucking money or whatever. Come on, man.
It's
Jesus,
almost August.
your own
Around about August the
military that
2nd
you
or
two are
3rd.
dedicated to, you're saying that they're lying? That fucking
Okay,
UFOs
Mr.
don't
B.
exist?
This is your
Around
show,
about
brother.
August 3rd, if you look up into the night sky,
Fucking
you should
guys.
see my ex-wife orbiting the sun.
Oh,
You should.
whichever. Whichever. Hey, look, let's talk about this real quick. Hunter Biden is probably, I think this plea deal is going to be the, start to the end. It's going to be the descent of the Biden, administration and just his political career in general.
Yeah.
I think there's some Democrats and some medium, in the middle type guys that are starting to turn and say, nah, there's too much. There's too much out there, Joe. You better get a cork on it because I'm not going to
Mr.
go down
LeMay,
with
your
you.
thoughts?
Governor Newsom was probably putting his orders for the curtains for the White House because he definitely got the measurements there. He's foaming at the mouth, man.
Yeah.
He's foaming at the mouth. He's ready to join the battle.
Unbelievable. Well, that having been said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to reach out and say thank you very much for watching. Again, gentlemen, thank you so much for at the late hour agreeing to come in and do this. I genuinely appreciate it. I love what we've had here. We've had a great exchange and some incredible information. Mr. Blazeman, Mr. LeMay, Hayseed, wonderful to see you this evening. It's great to work along with you. I enjoy it. Thank you very much for coming.
I love it.
I'm Mr. B. Coming up again next week. We're going to have, of course, on Tuesday night, another episode of The Way We See It. And then, of course, on Wednesday night, you'll have right here. And you never know what you're going to see, especially when I'm around. That having been said, ladies and gentlemen, have a great night. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all again soon.
Appreciate
Don't
it,
forget
Mr. B.
to turn into.
Thanks, Mr. B.
Good job, guys. Don't forget to tune in to the Unboxed Thoughts on Mondays. Don't forget to see the Coach's Corner on Wednesday. Then the Mr. B Show on Wednesday night. Thursday night is My Voice is My Power with Elizabeth Thorpe, 7 to 8 p.m. right here on the FFN Network. Thanks. Thanks for inviting us on, Mr. B. Great show as always. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
See you around.